You guys don't need to worry about me getting revenge from Diddy. I've got 3 moves that make sure he'll never be able to come after me or my family.
Welcome to Bleeding Spotlight, the place where hidden truths finally get exposed. For years, the industry brushed it all off. Clips laughed away, whispers ignored, and questions left hanging in the air. Nobody wanted to dig too deep. Nobody wanted to rattle the wrong cages. But that silence is cracking open now.
First, I personally reached out to the victims' legal teams. The real reason he's not getting out is those buried cases behind the scenes. I provided legal funding for 7 victims who had been silent for years and brought in the top criminal attorneys in the country. Second, I bought up every potential post-release business deal he had lined up. I planned this 2 years in advance, so by the time he got sentenced and still had hope of getting out, every partner had already cut ties with him. Third, I don't just have evidence, I've got backups. This is an entire minefield that's been buried for 20 years. I uncovered every secret from the last 30 years. With testimonies from the victims, we interviewed over a dozen people he tricked, threatened, or violated. You think that's harsh? No, he destroyed other people's lives for decades. I'm just making sure he spends a few extra years in prison for it. I'm not afraid of his people, not afraid of his threats. I know he's still in there fantasizing about a comeback, but the truth is, he's never coming back.
With 50 Cent's explosive new documentary shaking the internet, everything people once dismissed as just rumors is being pulled into the spotlight. The timeline is being re-examined piece by piece, and the puzzle is starting to make sense in ways nobody expected. At the very heart of it all stands Diddy, a powerhouse who shaped careers from the shadows, and Justin Bieber, a young star who got pulled into that chaotic world way too early. This isn't just about random clips or wild online gossip. It's about power, silence, and how deep the cover-ups can go when the stakes are high. Too many people had something to lose, so they kept their eyes shut and their mouths closed. The truth didn't just disappear, it was buried under fame, money, and influence. Everyone played their part, pretending not to see what was right in front of them. This goes way beyond social media drama or fan theories. It's about how far the industry will go to protect its own secrets. When the people at the top stay quiet, it's not by accident. It's because the truth could blow everything wide open. Justin Bieber's rise was sold to the world as a picture-perfect fairy tale. A kid with talent who made it big overnight.
48 hours, let's go, let's just go get some girls. Let's go hang out some girls.
A man after my heart, that's what I'm talking about, kid.
But behind the flashing lights and screaming fans was a truth that never made it to the headlines. He was still a minor, stepping into an adult world built on power, temptation, and control. The new footage and interviews pull back the curtain, showing moments that were never meant to be revisited.
Yeah, so as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, it's gonna be yours. So every time you come to LA, it's a little dusty, but you know, come get the first shot at it.
Man.
And that out. Minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down, you gotta, you know, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 15. You could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet.
You can see Bieber being placed in rooms where access, influence, and fame came before any sense of protection or boundaries. The adults around him didn't act like guardians, they acted like gatekeepers. What looked like a dream from the outside was really a world where age-appropriate limits simply didn't exist. For years, clips and stories like these floated around the internet, shrugged off as just more celebrity weirdness. People laughed, reposted, and moved on, never stopping to ask what was really going on behind the scenes.
No.
All right,
No,
16.
No,
16.
Let's slow down. Let's slow down, Justin.
Okay.
Let's slow down. Okay.
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when you get 16. You good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
And then when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay. I get the mansion?
Yeah.
All right.
But it wasn't just about odd behavior or fame gone wild, it was about normalization. The industry learned to look away, to treat the uncomfortable as entertainment, and to let silence do the heavy lifting. This wasn't one single moment. It was a pattern that grew stronger every time someone stayed quiet. When childhood gets traded for access, when innocence is swapped for opportunity, who's left to count the cost?
Yeah, so as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, it's gonna be yours. So every time you come in LA, it's a little dusty, but you know, go get the front shot of this.
Man.
And that out. Minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down, you gotta, you know, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 15. You could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet.
No.
All right, 16.
The real question isn't just what happened, it's how so many people managed to pretend nothing was wrong for so long. 50 Cent has always stood outside Sean Diddy Combs' private circle, watching from a distance but never diving in. He's hinted for years that he knew more than he let on, claiming awareness without ever being part of the game. Back then, people brushed it off as typical industry beef.
No.
All right, 16.
You're not ready.
16.
Let's slow down. Let's slow down, Justin.
Okay.
Let's slow down, okay?
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when you get 16. You good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
And then when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay. I get the mansion?
Yeah.
All right. So where are we off to now?
Where would you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go. Where are we going?
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours?
Just another feud for attention. But now, everything hits differently. His words are resurfacing in a new light, one shaped by ongoing investigations, lawsuits, and the public finally asking hard questions. It doesn't mean every claim is automatically true, but the timing changes how we hear him. What once sounded like trash talk now feels like warning shots that nobody took seriously.
Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
I'm going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking this out tonight.
What you wanna do? What you wanna do over the next 48 hours?
The whole thing forces everyone to rethink intent. Was he stirring drama, or was he trying to signal something bigger? Warnings often show up long before the proof hits the surface. And that's what makes this part so uncomfortable. When the person raising the alarm is seen as an enemy or a rival, it's easy for people to tune it out and move on, but ignoring the source doesn't erase the truth, it just delays the fallout. In this case, the silence was louder than the whispers because the power behind it stretched way beyond music.
You understand? You got people in the industry that's been saying for years, this man is having sex with underage. So now the federal government is looking at that like, yo, when is somebody gonna come forward? We got this information, this alleged information, but nobody's willing to come forward. Then they go on and say, yo, Shakur Stewart mysteriously dead. Supposed to be a self-inflicted wound. Person that had everything going for him in their life. Kim Porter dead. Somebody's car gets blown up. This guy is walking around threatening other actors, people. Somebody got to get involved in it. If it ain't the state, let it be the feds. Somebody got to stop him. He lucky that God given him the opportunity to be stopped while he's alive, then have to go to hell and face that shit. He got a chance to repent now, change his life.
You mentioned minors, you know, and a lot of people have been trying to drag Justin Bieber into this situation because there's a lot of like suspect looking videos with Diddy and Bieber in it, and you know, they're making a lot of allegations.
Diddy wasn't just another artist, he was the gatekeeper, the one who decided who got in the room and who got shut out. Careers could skyrocket or crash depending on his nod. And Justin Bieber's closeness to that kind of influence wasn't coincidence. It was part of an industry logic built on power, not fairness. Opportunity didn't come from transparency, it came from whoever controlled the keys. The real concern people are raising now isn't just about what went down behind closed doors, it's about why nobody stepped in when it mattered. Where was the oversight, the accountability, the line that was supposed to protect people? In an industry where climbing the ladder depends on how close you are to power, those lines start to blur fast. Boundaries become flexible, morals get tested, and silence turns into currency. When success depends on saying yes, who's actually brave enough to say no? And even more, who ends up paying the price for standing their ground? These aren't just questions, they're the cracks showing in a system that rewards obedience over integrity and punishes anyone who dares to push back.
You know, Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, you know, he could buy you one also.
Got me a Lamborghini. And
Yeah. Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Well, apparently not.
Something, everything ain't for everybody.
Do you believe the guy in the tape is white?
If he's bigger than Diddy, and he's not none of the names that I said, probably so. But then they say he was young too.
Yeah, they say he was young.
Let me get his name right. I hope it ain't the Bieber. I hope it's not the Bieber.
That's a good one. It might be him. But if they saying that the guy is young and he's an A-lister, I can't think of that many black people, man.
Right, not at all.
Long before Justin Bieber ever hit the stage, Usher had already walked that same path, and his story still raises eyebrows. He publicly shared how, as a teenager, he was placed under Diddy's influence, living in a world that threw him into adult realities way too soon. That's not gossip, it's testimony. And it matters because it sets a precedent, not a rumor. When the same patterns repeat over and over, generation after generation, coincidence stops being a valid excuse. It starts to look like a system built to protect power, not people. The cycle keeps spinning. Trust gets passed down without change, and silence becomes tradition.
And somebody that's more powerful, more of a celebrity than Diddy, you understand what I'm saying? If they were saying somebody that was more celebrity than Diddy, he was an A-lister, he was younger, you know what I'm saying? And if he's not black, it would have to be the Bieber. That's his name, Bieber? They said I got that wrong too, Justin Bieber, allegedly. I don't know, bro.
Right. But when you heard the news that Diddy, he had a tape with another man, did that catch you by surprise or no?
Well, all this shit is by surprise to me. A lot of this shit is by surprise to me, to be totally honest, man. Because I knew.
If discomfort was already known the first time, why was nothing fixed? Why was the next young artist pushed down the same risky path as if the warnings from the past never even existed? As the spotlight on Diddy started burning hotter, the silence in Hollywood grew louder. Celebrities who once stood shoulder to shoulder with him suddenly vanished from the conversation. No statements, no comments, just quiet timelines. But while most chose to stay silent, 50 Cent did the opposite. He turned up the volume. He started calling things out, naming names, and refusing to let the topic fade away.
Might make you change your mind. Look at Lil Nas X. He fizzled out fast too.
So would you say someone like Justin Bieber is a victim? I just seen he is reportedly selling his whole catalog because he's broke.
Yeah. Yeah. And once he finishes getting that money, I don't understand why he's broke. He didn't have to be broke. Usher just wouldn't stop robbing him.
Damn.
I mean, Usher couldn't keep his hands out of his pocket. It's funny. He got him signed and turned over custody to Diddy. Boy was never the same. And Neither was Usher's pockets, because Usher's been living off of Justin Bieber's money. He ain't been living off of his own. Because the truth is, Usher don't really make that kind of money.
That split says everything. It's the unspoken rule of the industry. Speak up and you risk your connections, your deals, maybe even your career. Stay silent and you protect the network that keeps the money flowing. In that equation, truth always seems to come second to reputation, and the people who talk usually pay the biggest price. In this world, loyalty starts to blur into pure self-protection. It's hard to tell where one ends and the other begins. It's not always about fear or cowardice, it's about strategy, about survival in a system that punishes honesty. People weigh every word before they speak, wondering who might turn on them next. The whole ecosystem runs on quiet deals and calculated silence, where telling the truth can cost everything you've built. When silence becomes the safest move, can real accountability even exist anymore? Or has the game been rigged so deeply that honesty feels like a trap? That's the chilling part.
And I'm really just kind of sick and tired of Usher.
Yeah,
I'm really kind of disgusted with Usher Raymond, who does Greek wrestling nude with men over frosted flakes, allegedly. Like, I'm sick and tired of this guy who everyone knows got the Diddy bumps, who's been sued for passing them on and lost.
Truth has to fight for air in an environment designed to suffocate it, and the price of speaking up might just be everything. Justin Bieber has never come out and accused Diddy of any criminal wrongdoing, but his later reflections paint a picture that's hard to ignore. He's spoken openly about battling anxiety, losing control, and feeling emotionally drained during the height of his fame, and those words hit differently when you see the bigger picture. His story isn't just about fame and fortune, it's about a young artist thrown into a whirlwind of power, pressure, and manipulation. He's described being surrounded by adults chasing their own goals while he struggled to understand what was happening around him. No one handed him the tools to protect himself. He had to learn the hard way. And when you look back now, his breakdowns and confessions sound less like weakness and more like the fallout of a system that failed to protect him.
It's still sitting there, disgracing women in front of their men who bought the tickets to like that whole scheme.
He's causing a lot of divorce courts.
Yeah, but why? He don't even want them. He don't want them women. He's literally doing it just to destroy relationships.
This isn't about courtroom evidence or legal blame. It's about something deeper and more human. Trauma doesn't always show up with a headline or an accusation attached to it. Sometimes it hides in plain sight, taking years to reveal itself as pain that never got a proper name. You can see it in the breakdowns, the disappearances, the quiet confessions that come long after the cameras stop rolling, and that raises a powerful question. If the harm runs through the whole system, why do people keep waiting for one single accusation before believing it's real? When damage is built into the structure itself, expecting one person to carry the weight of proof feels cruel. The signs have been there all along. It's just that no one wanted to call them what they were.
I knew Diddy before he was Love and Brother Love and back to Diddy. So, no, but the diddler, he's the diddler now. A lot of it's surprising, but it's not unheard of. Because you hear of all kinds of and whether it registered with you or you internalize it or something like that, that's a whole nother story.
When Diddy's story finally hit federal court, everything changed. What was once brushed off as gossip or online chatter suddenly turned into an official, documented process with real consequences. The conversation shifted from whispers in the shadows to evidence on record, forcing everyone to look at the situation differently. Once the legal system stepped in, the rules of the game changed. Claims had to be backed up, timelines had to be proven, and every move was under the microscope. But even as charges, verdicts, and appeals started shaping what could be publicly said, the case opened the door for something bigger. It gave permission to question the system itself. The focus wasn't just on one man anymore. It was on the industry that allowed this culture to thrive for so long. Courts can rule on actions, but they can't fix culture. That's the part that always slips through the cracks. Legal systems deal with evidence and verdicts, but they don't touch the deeper rot that lives underneath.
Is this real life? I feel crazy. The world is spinning around me. What's happening? You have 4 eyes. I have 2 fingers.
The truth is harsh. Legality doesn't always line up with morality, and an acquittal doesn't mean innocence. It just means the system couldn't prove guilt. The damage that comes from unchecked power doesn't disappear when the case file closes. So when the courtroom wraps up and the headlines fade, does that mean the conversation dies too? Because the real issues, the silence, the exploitation, the manipulation, don't end with a verdict. And honestly, it makes people wonder, could someone inside be leaking details, a mole maybe, feeding the world bits of truth that others are still desperate to bury? The connection between 50 Cent, Diddy, and Justin Bieber exposes something way bigger than personal drama. It reveals how the entire celebrity system really works. Power always moves upward, stacking in the hands of a few, while the risk...
Do you think he has a mole or an informant in his camp that's cooperating?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Listen, bro. Just doing law enforcement myself, just take for instance. I think the individual was a Syracuse former basketball player named Jason Barnes or Beard or something like that. He already had drug charges against him. The day Diddy house get raided, they catch him getting on a plane and they put him into custody. Didn't that sound a little weird? People didn't catch that. They either put him in custody for a couple of reasons. You understand? One,
the pressure and the pain fall on those at the bottom. It's a setup that rewards image over integrity. Youth is sold to the public as authenticity, a brand to be monetized, not protected. Access is spun to look like mentorship.
to make a witness out of him or to safeguard him and protect him for anything that could happen to him, because they had already stated, allegedly, that he was some kind of mule for the people over there at Diddy's house. So now, with that information, that he was already known by the government for drug charges, wouldn't that be an individual that you use? I'm gonna give you something different. And I'm gonna give you something else that people don't even think. On the other day, I seen on the video that Puff had ran into Justin Bieber. They met up and he started tapping him as if he was searching him and see if he had some kind of device on. Did you see that?
Yep.
Check this out. What if the federal government have already talked to Justin Bieber? And Diddy did that on tape. That means in his mind, he think this person may be a witness.
But behind the curtain, it's about control. Who gets in, who stays out, and who gets used up in the process. And through it all, silence is dressed up as professionalism, when really it's fear in disguise. The higher the fame, the deeper the secrets, and everyone learns fast that speaking out can cost everything.
Jermaine Dupri said something interesting. He said the reason that R&B isn't as powerful as it is anymore is because children are going to church.
Yeah.
What is it about the transfer from the spiritual to the secular do you believe that's what made R&B so powerful?
Understand this. Rhythm and blues was a combination of gospel and soul music. Because soul music has always been around in one form or another. It's just evolved throughout the years. And you got gospel, rhythm and blues. That's what put that together. That's why they made such a big stink about the Ray Charles incorporating gospel sounds into secular music. Because they wanted people to separate the two. This is demon, this is good. The truth is none of that's real. There is no bad, there is no good. There is what is and there is what is not. And that's sad. But when you take the spirit that comes.
This isn't a story of certainty. It's a story of patterns, the kind that keep circling back no matter how many names or faces change. When the same conditions keep producing the same kind of pain, the question becomes impossible to ignore. At what point does the system itself go on trial? How long do we keep pointing at individuals while the machinery behind them stays untouched?
I watched a video of an interview of Justin Bieber, and he was talking about Billie Eilish. And he was like, he was almost in tears. He's like, I just want to protect her. I just want to keep her safe.
Yeah.
What do you think he went through?
Because he knows what's been happening to Billie. Just like everybody knew what was happening to Millie Bobby Brown girl with Drake. These people are monsters.
The cycles of silence, power, and protection don't break on their own. They're designed to keep turning until someone calls them out loud enough to make them stop. Maybe this moment right now is when people finally stop treating it like coincidence and start seeing it as a blueprint for corruption. If you made it this far, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Bleeding Spotlight. Stay tuned, because the next episode is gonna dig even deeper into what they still don't want you to see.
But a lot of this stuff it's crazy, but this is the world that we live in now, man. That these individuals thinks it's all right. Bruh, when does it comes all right to be sitting there eating food off a naked woman? When did we start doing what they do? Let's keep it a buck. When did we start doing what they do? These guys is popping pills. These got Jay-Z dancing with a chick that's